Welcome to Within the Frame, where we bring the most pressing issues across the globe into focus. I'm Kim Mok-yeon. As global competition heats up across defense, AI, and clean energy, Quebec is moving to strengthen direct ties with Korea, not through federal diplomacy, but via its own provincial strategy. Positioning itself as a hub for critical minerals and advanced technology, the province is seeking concrete partnerships with Korea's shipbuilders, AI leaders, and clean tech firms. This week, a number of top economic officials there are in Seoul to advance cooperation on supply chains, energy transition, and region-to-region business models. On Within the Frame tonight, we are joined by Ma-yeon, Executive Vice President of Investment Quebec International, to my right. A very big welcome.
Thank you.
And also joining us to my left is Damyang Pehira, Chief Representative of the Quebec Government Office in Seoul. Good to see you.
Thank you for having us.
So let's start a discussion with Ms. Jung. You're scheduled to meet with top officials from South Korea's government and also major conglomerates, of course. Could you tell us what brings you to South Korea this time around, and which areas of cooperation are you hoping to prioritize?
Yes, thank you. So it's actually my third visit to South Korea within, I would say, 3 years. So I'm always happy to come back to South Korea. And this week is really about two specific topics, I would say. First one being innovation, and second one being defense. So on the innovation side, so we're here this week with a group of 10 startups from Quebec who are seeking partnerships and to commercialize and to meet South Korean partners to develop the technology in all high-tech industries. So this is one of the important goals that we're seeking this week. And the second goal would be, I would say, defense, being such a key and strategic sectors, both for Quebec, Canada, and South Korea. And we're also looking through our meeting this week to have those collaboration. Actually, this week I was lucky to sign an agreement with KITAN, Korean International Trade Association, which will support us to deepen even furthermore our collaboration between Quebec and South Korea, between our businesses, our institution, and that's this week's goal.
Well, that's definitely something to look forward to moving forward. Now, building on that, as we know that 2022, our relationship has been elevated to a comprehensive strategic partnership. How is Korea currently positioned within Quebec's diplomatic and trade strategies? And also, what kind of key roles does Quebec play in cooperation with Korea?
Yeah, so actually South Korea is a very important partner for Quebec. It's actually the third partner for Quebec in Asia. So even though we are further in terms of distance, we're a distant partner, but we're very close in so many topics. So South Korea is a very important partner. And in today's world, in today's geopolitics, it's so important for like-minded countries, like-minded regions to foster those collaboration and work together on critical and important topics, like I mentioned, innovation and defense. And so I think really the place where we want to be fostering new collaboration with South Korea are in really high level, many different industries like artificial intelligence, life science, quantum computing, critical minerals, so many topics where we have expertise in Quebec, you have expertise here in South Korea, and we have, for example, we have minerals, so we can really work together and to create more integrated supply chain throughout, like I said, with friendly countries, friendly partners.
Mm-hmm, definitely. And as you've said, innovation and defense, those are areas that you're focusing on right now in this latest trip. So speaking of this international cooperation, South Korea, it recently was shortlisted as a finalist in Canada's CPSP project, drawing a lot of attention, of course. And we hear that you visited one of the competitors in Germany last year. Could you tell us, how is this project being viewed in Quebec?
Yeah, it's a very important project. Like you said, in December, I was in Germany to meet with the other contender for this contract. So it's a very large contract for Canada, for Quebec, so with 12 submarines. So it's around 60 billion Canadian dollar contract that is going to be awarded later this year. Obviously, and Anwa Ocean being one of also the contender for the contract, that's why we're here to try to see, because the company or the firm, the industry who will win the contract will have to have some spending within Canada, within Quebec, with local representative, with local company, local content. So they need to provide some local content. So that's why we're here this week meeting with Anwa Ocean, all the partners, to try to identify all those areas of collaboration. It can be in defense, it is in defense, but it is also in many different industries around it, like aerospace, AI I mentioned already. So it's really a very important topic, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity to leverage all those collaboration we have for so many years now. So I think it's going to be a new way to work together.
Well, definitely. All eyes are on that
Yes.
project, definitely. Now, let's also bring in Mr. Pereira to the conversation. So, Quebec is recognized also as an AI hub, home to institutions like MILA, one of the world's largest deep learning research centers. So, in what direction is AI cooperation with Korea currently heading?
Yeah, thank you for your question. AI has been very central in the relation between Quebec and Korea for many years now. And as you said, this relation is only building on the future of this collaboration. So Korea has revealed a very ambitious new AI strategy. So we've been in Korea engaging with different partners to find out how we'll move together even further. As you mentioned, there's already strong collaboration. We've seen a very great partnership between Seoul AI Hub and the MILA Research Center, as you said. MILA is about 1,200 researchers, so it's the largest AI research center in the world. So this collaboration is seeing every year numerous of startups going from Korea to Quebec to work in the ecosystem to improve their technology and to come back to Korea and to commercialize. So we see a very positive outcome out of this collaboration. But also we have Sontech, an incubator that has signed an agreement with the Advanced Institute of Convergence Technology in Gyeonggi-do. So this relation, as you can see, is growing. IVADO, it is another organization in Quebec, have signed with Busan. So this is spreading all across Korea, and we are linking our ecosystem together. Quebec is very famous for AI. Of course, major international labs have been established, presence in Quebec, going from Microsoft, Meta, Google, Samsung as a great research lab in Quebec. And so this ecosystem are very complementary. When we look at numbers, Korea is the second in the world for R&D spendings, with 5% of the GDP. Quebec is the first province within Canada in terms of GDP spending. So we find each other on this innovation and on this AI strategy. And we can also say that we have also a similar strategy for innovation zone. Quebec has launched a strategy with 4 innovation zones up to date, focusing on AI, quantum, semiconductors, and energy transition. And we can see in Korea it's a little bit a similar approach with different areas that are dedicated to some sectors of the innovation. So we are really complementary and matching well together. And so I think together we can hope to build a resilient and sustainable technology for the future.
Mm-hmm. So you've mentioned that a lot of companies are actually collaborating this time around, but what about in the long-term vision? Like, what kind of long-term goals?
So as I was mentioning, like right now we are looking at 2 main sectors that are we need to focus. We need to select some sectors. So the robotic AI and the agentic AI are the 2 sectors we are focusing a lot recently. We're seeing great collaboration, and this week specifically, last week, Friday, we had a meeting with the MSIT Vice Minister as well as the National Committee on AI. And we had a very interesting discussion to see how our ecosystem can work on synergies to go together on the next level. So we see this frontier AI being the next steps will be a vital and major step. So we are working together to try to do this next step together.
Right. So it's really encouraging to see, how these collaborations are taking shape moving forward. Now, let's also touch upon strategic resources, Ms. Zhang. Given the ongoing instability in global supply chains, Korea, it places a lot of importance on energy and resource security as well. And of course, Quebec is a leader in the clean energy field. We are aware of that. So what kind of synergies do you think can emerge between the 2 countries on that area?
Yeah, I think that's also a very important topic for South Korea and Quebec, because in Quebec we're lucky to have 28 critical minerals in our reserve. So we're very lucky we have such this rich soil with all the critical minerals in Quebec. Where on the other side, South Korea has a lot of company, for example, in microelectronics, in defense we talked about. So many industries in automotive industry, many industries where you need critical minerals. So that, again, in this sector, I think it's really a win-win collaboration between Quebec and South Korea, where we have the resources, you have a lot of industries that are using those kind of resources. So I think it's another area where we can work together. In terms of energy as well, energy being such an important topic these days. So in Quebec, we already are producing 99.9% of our energy by hydroelectricity. So we have all the technology, and we also have technology into the nuclear as well industry. So that's an area where we are already working together. We can work together. And also, that was also the reason why both the critical minerals and the clean energy that we have in Quebec, that was reasons why we were lucky to get some large investment from South Korean company, from EcoPro, POSCO, and Solus, and many other Mirae South Korean companies who came to Quebec to really develop the economy, the battery, the critical mineral industry in Quebec. So these commitments were already done before, and I think now it's with everything that's happening, I think it's on both sides. We think it's a very good situation that it's in the friendly hands on both sides. So you need the resources, we have the resources, and we're working together to really have this supply chain together between Quebec and Korea and the rest of the world, actually.
Right. Those areas seem to really hold significant potential in the future, like when resources and industries meet. Now, let's also shift into regional partnerships, Mr. Pereira. Quebec has been strengthening direct cooperation with Korean innovation cities like Daejeon, Seoul, and Daejeon as well. What would you say are the strengths of this local-to-local government cooperation model?
It's an excellent question. Absolutely. Like, the government of Quebec has an office in Korea since 1991. So it's been 35 years. We are celebrating this year our 35 years in Korea. So this long presence on the ground in Korea has given us an advantage to develop relations everywhere in Korea. So we have engaged with central government of the government of Korea, but of course we're also engaging at the regional level, at the provincial level, and with the Governors Association, with the Governor's Office. And as you mentioned, we signed the first agreement in 2024 with the Seoul Metropolitan Government. It's a comprehensive agreement that covers many fields, but one of them was AI, as you mentioned, but we go also to cultural exchange, to cybersecurity, to population aging. We are facing similar level of difficulties, so we can cooperate on many subjects. In June 2025, we also, the Ministry of Economy, Innovation and Energy signed an agreement with Daejeon City, Metropolitan City Government, and this agreement was focused on innovation. So we saw a lot of interest to collaborate on innovation. So there is two call for projects that are currently running on quantum innovation as well as aerospace. That's two sectors that are very strong for Daejeon as well as for Quebec, and will extend next year to semiconductor and biotechnology. And if I go even further, like, this is the two signed agreement we have, but we also have an extremely strong relation with Gyeongsang-Bugdo province for the energy transition. Marie-Jean mentioned about the large conglomerate that have been establishing presence in Quebec, so some of them are already located in this province. And we also have a lot of discussion with Gyeongsang-Namdo for the aerospace. They have an aerospace cluster. Incheon as well for the aerospace, and Gyeonggi-do for the AI. So we can see that all the regions and the province of Korea have specific interests that are matching very well with our specific interests. So we can engage specifically on topics that are important for both our societies. And this is the advantage to be on the ground for a long time. We have a team of 12 people in Korea that are engaging in every sector, and we can pinpoint where we are complementary, where we have reciprocal interests, where it can be beneficial for both of us to work together. And so to answer your question, I would say sometimes, like, working from provincial government to provincial government, it gives us a little bit more of agility. We can go faster, we can go stronger. We know our ecosystem maybe better. We are closer to the ecosystem, the economic ecosystem. So we know our companies, we know what they aspire for, and we can easily connect them with the right partner in Korea.
Right, since you can, directly communicate and sort out the details, it definitely seems to bring a lot of advantages to the story. Now, speaking of, cooperation and collaboration, Quebec and Korea also have been, maintaining its close ties through cultural exchanges as well. Could you share with us some examples of cultural exchanges between the two countries?
Absolutely, and I think it's really important between Quebec and Korea, this cultural link that we have been growing over the years. We sometimes refer to the Goblin effect. There was a very famous TV show called Goblin, Dokgebi, in Korean, which was in 2016, and this is partially shot in Quebec City. So you can see the iconic Chateau Frontenac in the TV show. And many Korean people wanted to visit Quebec after this show, so it created a very great momentum. We've been informed that 230 million people watched this TV show.
Wow.
So it's enormous. It's even more than Korea. And so since then, actually, the tourists from Korea want to see Quebec, want to see Quebec City, want to see during the autumn exactly the same setup that was in the TV show. So Quebec became the #1 destination of tourists from Korea to Canada. So we are extremely proud of that. But this relation is even much more complex. Like we have a lot of relation with the Circus. Cirque du Soleil just completed a major tour in Korea. We will have in April, Cirque Éloise will be producing a co-production with Samsung Everland. So we can see in the digital arts as well, it's something that we can match very well. If you go to Terminal 2 of Incheon Airport, you have a very large screen that was, the content was provided by Moment Factory, which is a Quebec company as well. So you can see that this is a very strong relation in creative and cultural industry. And we often say to be good partners, you first need to be good friends.
Right.
So we've been like a good friends for more than 35 years in Korea, and even more for the Consulate General Office in Montreal. So we see that our cultural exchange can be really the foundation of the future of our relation.
Right, you've definitely mentioned a lot of examples that many of us are familiar with, definitely. But do you think they could actually help boost, economic or tech collaboration between the two sides?
Absolutely. As I was mentioning, we see that this cultural relation is a bond between our society. We understand each other, we appreciate our art, each other, and we are willing to pay to see the content and the cultural creation of each other. But what we see is this is definitely creating also a trust and a relationship based on fraternity. And so with this relation, we see a lot of economic outcome. And for example, I was mentioning on the digital arts, this is going to be very strong economic sector for Quebec as well as for Korea. And with the AI coming into this world, you can see that our both strength in AI will also bring more focus and attention to this sector.
Mm-hmm. So really, cultural ties, they could lay the groundwork for economic ones as well. Now, finally, before we conclude our discussion, looking ahead, Ms. Jung, what is the single most important factor, do you think, that could keep South Korea-Quebec cooperation strong and successful in the years to come?
I would say just related to what Damien just said, I guess it's more than just transactional. It's more than just economic ties. It's really a friendship that has been built over the years with the Quebec presence here, with South Korean presence in Quebec. So I think looking ahead, for me, it's really to keep on supporting our industry, our institution to come together, to meet in person, to bring our companies here, bring our ministers, bring our universities to meet with South Korean, and do the same to welcome South Korean leaders from all the different sectors to come to Quebec and meet with the people. So I think for me, looking ahead is, yes, finding those areas where we are very complementary. We talked about defense, AI, life science. There's so many cultural, so there's so many places where we can really have work together, but it's also about bringing people together to build those ties, strong ties.
It's really encouraging to see that vision come through with a lot of cooperation, but not only in just industrial areas, but also people-to-people ties as
exactly.
well. Thank you so much for your insights tonight, Ms. Zhang.
Thank you so much for having us.
And of course, Mr. Vieira, we really appreciate your insights tonight.
Thank you very much for your invitation.
And that'll be all from us on Within the Frame tonight. Be sure to tune in again next time as we continue to explore the stories that matter. Until then, stay informed and engaged.